Have you ever thought about mixing candle wax with used motorcycle engine oil? One is meant for lighting, the other is strictly for engines. It already sounds illogical, but it's exactly that illogical combination that made me curious. What would happen if two completely unrelated materials were melted down and mixed together? First, I'll cut these candles into small pieces. Doing this helps the wax melt faster and more evenly when heated, without wasting too much time waiting. The smaller pieces also make it easier to control the melting process and prevent uneven melting. After cutting them, I'll heat the candles until they are completely melted. Then I'll try combining the melted wax with used motorcycle engine oil and a few other ingredients to create a new mixture. Used motorcycle engine oil is actually quite easy to find if you know where to look. You can ask local repair shops or maintenance garages, places that regularly change oil for cars and motorcycles. They usually collect used oil and may let you take some for free or at a very low cost. Now I'll heat the candles. I place them over a heat source and slowly warm them up, allowing the wax to melt evenly and fully transition into a liquid state. Once the wax is completely melted, I'll remove all the remaining wick pieces and set them aside. These wicks may seem useless at first, but I might actually reuse them later, so I'll keep them handy to avoid wasting anything. Next, I'll slowly pour the used engine oil into the melted wax. At this point, you can see the mixture is starting to change color, and the consistency becomes noticeably different. I add it little by little to observe how the two materials react, avoiding pouring too quickly, so I can maintain control and see how well they blend together. After adding the oil, I'll stir the mixture thoroughly so all the components blend together. As I stir, you can clearly feel the change in viscosity. The mixture becomes more uniform and the color gradually stabilizes. And this is where it really gets interesting. I'll add sawdust to the mixture once the sawdust is added. The structure of the mixture changes noticeably. It becomes thicker and has a rougher, more textured feel compared to the original state. This detail makes the experiment more intriguing, as it could open up entirely different applications than simply using wax and oil alone. I'll add the sawdust gradually, observing as I go to control the thickness of the mixture. This approach prevents it from becoming too dry or too thick too suddenly, while also making it easier to adjust until it reaches a consistency I want. It can be observed that the mixture ignites quite easily, mainly because the candle wax acts as the primary fuel, while the sawdust helps retain and distribute heat more effectively. Once ignited, the flame tends to remain stable and can be sustained for a relatively long period of time. Next, I'll make a simple mold to shape this mixture. Using a mold helps the material take on a cleaner form and makes it easier to observe the result after it cools down and solidifies. I'll reuse cardboard to form the body of the mold, combine with wooden sticks to reinforce it, and keep the mold standing firmly. These materials are easy to find, lightweight, and rigid enough to hold their shape while the mixture is being poured in. Making a temporary mold this way is quick and practical, especially for small experiments, without the need for specialized tools or professional molds. I apply the glue along the joints of the cardboard and press them firmly for a few seconds so it adheres well, preventing the mold from coming apart or leaking while the mixture is still hot. This extra reinforcement helps the mold maintain its shape throughout the cooling and curing process, ensuring the final product doesn't become deformed. After finishing the mold, I'll pour the prepared mixture into it. I do this slowly so the mixture fills the mold evenly, while also observing whether the mold can maintain its shape. This step will determine the final form of the product once it cools down and solidifies. When pouring the mixture into the mold, I do it slowly and steadily, allowing it to flow down naturally and fill all the corners. After that, I gently level the surface so it's flat, helping the mixture distribute evenly without clumping or becoming too thick in some areas and too thin in others. At this stage, you can see the mixture starting to settle and stabilize inside the mold. When the mold is about halfway filled, I'll place the wick pieces inside, arranging them neatly and in the correct positions. At this point, the mixture is still soft enough to hold the wicks in place, keeping them secure as I continue pouring the remaining mixture on top. After that, I'll continue pouring the remaining mixture on top, completely covering the wick pieces. I still pour slowly and spread it evenly so the surface stays flat, ensuring the wicks are firmly secured inside and don't shift as the mixture begins to cool and set. I'll use super glue to bond and secure the edges of the mold. The result is a mixture that can be formed into small, compact pieces, making them very convenient to carry. Thanks to their modest size and neat shape, these pieces are easy to store in a backpack or gear bag without taking up much space. This is what makes a mixture flexible and practical, suitable for travel or situations where portability is important. After filling the mold, I'll press it gently but evenly to compact the mixture. This helps the components bond better, reduces internal air gaps, and makes the material denser overall. When held in place and compressed with sufficient pressure, the mixture stabilizes more quickly, gradually hardens, and retains its shape once it is fully cooled. Once the mixture has completely cooled and hardened, I begin carefully removing the mold. The wooden sticks and cardboard on the outside are peeled away gradually, piece by piece, to avoid disturbing the shape of the material inside. Once the mold is fully removed, the hardened mixture retains a clear shape, with edges and surfaces appearing fairly stable and well-defined. When finished, the mixture is solidified into small individual pieces, with each piece still containing the wick segments, just like a real candle. The wicks sit neatly in the center, making the pieces visually clear and convenient for any future fire-related experiments. Looking at each piece, you can clearly see the combination of the mixture's density, sawdust, oil, and candle wax, creating a structure that is both sturdy and flammable, essentially a handy mini candle ready for use. These pieces can be easily stacked into a box for storage. Their compact size means they don't take up much space, while also protecting them from dust or impacts that could damage the surface. Storing them in a box helps maintain their shape and properties over time, making them ready for future use without the need to start from scratch. When ready, I'll test burning one of the pieces to observe the mixture's flammability. Upon lighting it, I notice that it ignites very quickly. Just touching the wick with a flame is enough to start the burn. The flame begins at the wick and gradually spreads to the surrounding mixture. The piece burns steadily, releasing heat evenly and lasting for quite a long time, much like a small candle, but sturdier and more durable. The flame spreads quickly and uniformly throughout the mixture, showing that the combination of candle wax, oil, and sawdust allows it to ignite instantly, making it very convenient for camping or survival situations. At the same time, although it lights quickly, the burn remains stable and prolonged without flaring up excessively, while maintaining consistent heat output. With their quick ignition and long-lasting burn, these pieces can be used for warmth when needed. The flame distributes heat evenly, providing enough warmth for the surrounding area, which is especially useful for camping, outdoor survival, or in small enclosed spaces. Besides providing warmth, these compact pieces can also be used for cooking in outdoor or survival situations. Thanks to their long burn time and steady heat output, you can place a piece under a small pot or mini pan to boil water, warm food, or cook simple meals. Their convenient size makes it easy to control the amount of heat, and you can burn them one at a time. Perfect for outdoor trips where conventional stoves or fuel aren't available. So, after the entire process, from cutting the candles, melting them, mixing in oil and sawdust, making a mold, to forming the small pieces and testing them, we end up with a product that is both interesting and practical. These pieces ignite quickly, burn for a long time, and can be used for warmth, cooking, or carried along on camping and survival trips. Most importantly, they are made entirely from easily accessible materials. This proves that with a bit of creativity and a DIY spirit, even materials that would normally be discarded can be transformed into something extremely useful in everyday life.